Reading Uni weather.
Hi there, I'm Sabrina Lee with your University of Reading forecast. So on average in October, it's the wettest month for Reading, but this week we've seen no rainfall. Coming up in the forecast, I'll let you know when the next rain chances are. So if we take a look at the pressure chart firstly, then you can see there's high pressure dominating over Reading. This chart is for Monday at midnight, and you can see that as we start the next working week, we'll get high pressure, which means dry, settled conditions for us. Then taking a look at the weather chart for Sunday afternoon, you can see that there's dry conditions over Reading. There's quite a lot of overcast sky, so not much in the way of any sunshine for England. And then temperatures around 12 to 13 degrees for Reading. Temperatures on average are 11.2 degrees, so we're sitting about what we'd normally expect for this time of year. Then similarly, taking a look at the weather chart for Monday afternoon, you can see dry conditions again over Reading, cloudy skies, but a bit more in the way of sunshine for England. And again, temperatures similarly 12 to 13 degrees, so we don't need a coat yet, but a light jacket may help us. Then taking a look at the outlook for this week, we're expecting a dry week until we get to Wednesday, where the next frontal system will move through, giving us some rainfall. The temperatures don't really vary too much, but the winds do. They were coming from the north for the first part of the week, and then they'll switch to a more southerly flow, so not feeling as breezy. Have a great day.
Thanks for that forecast, Sabrina. My name's Samuel Lanckmans, and I'm going to be telling you about a meteorological event that's currently taking place on the other side of the globe. And this is in stark contrast to the calm conditions that we're seeing over Reading at the moment, and that is that of Typhoon Koppu, which made landfall on the Philippine island of Luzon just this morning. Now, meteorologists have had their eye on this system for a number of days, and for good reason too, as just prior to it making landfall, it underwent a period of rapid intensification as it moved over warmer sea surface temperatures. And this period of intensification is actually captured in this visible satellite loop. You can see new thunderstorm activity erupting around the centre. The system as a whole becomes a lot more symmetrical, and the eye itself begins to clear out. All of these are indications of a rapidly intensifying tropical storm. So by the time it actually made landfall, it had 135 mph sustained winds. That's enough for it to be classified as a super typhoon. If this was a hurricane in the Atlantic, it would be classified as a Category 4 storm. A 10 to 15 foot storm surge also accompanied it. Power lines were toppled, houses destroyed, 10,000 people displaced, and unfortunately there has now been one reported casualty. As is often the case with these sorts of natural disasters, that number will probably start to creep up as the relief effort reaches more isolated communities. So if you have a look at the state of the system now, you can see that it's started to weaken. It's got a much more asymmetric structure. The eye itself is now covered over, and this is because it's moved away from its energy source. Tropical storms will get their energy source from warm sea surface temperatures, move over land, get rid of that energy source, they begin to dissipate. So the winds are now starting to decrease, but there's another threat, and that is that of the rainfall. This is a particularly slow moving system, and many of the models don't have the rainfall associated with it leaving the Philippine shoreline until about Wednesday. And just in the 12 hours that it's been affecting the Philippines, over 100 millimetres of rain has fallen, with 180 millimetres in some spots. Now, some of the forecast models have as much as a metre being dumped in some places, so that's 1,000 millimetres. So we can expect Typhoon Koppu to remain in the headlines for a few days We can expect Typhoon Koppu to remain in the headlines for a few days let's try that again. We can expect Typhoon Koppu to remain in the headlines for a few days yet. Thank you and have a good week.
Reading Uni.